Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 1 is gone. It is done. We are moving on to Part 2. But what does that mean? What are we going to get in Part 2? This is not a telling you exactly what's going to happen. This is more of a what's going to be in movie 2. Because this whole manga section of this story, Part 1 to 3, covers a big gap. Now, I made a video just like this about a year ago now, to where I predicted how the movies would be split up. And a lot of you told me there is no way that I am correct, because in my prediction, I said that it would be split up. The entire rest of the story would be fit into these three movies. Now, a lot of you told me I was wrong, because that the Sunrise arc would be its own separate story. And I disagreed, and I was pretty much confirmed to be right. So, in this video, spoiler warning, I am going to go into some minor spoilers. I'm not going to tell you exactly like who dies, what happens. I'm going to tell you who wins some fights and what fights happen. So if you want to avoid that completely, this video is probably not for you. And if you're somebody that, you don't really want to know what happens, probably have to skip this one. But subscribe for future videos, and we're going to talk about what I think exactly will happen in movie 2, along with what I got wrong about movie 1. So to start off with movie 1, what I got wrong, what I predicted to happen in movie 1 was pretty close to what happened, with a few minor exceptions. I thought that the Shinobu and Doma fight would be pushed to the very end of movie 1, not at the very beginning of the movie. And while I don't think that I'm technically far off, I think, you could have put it either place. I do understand why they did it. You needed the scene to where Tanjiro and Giyu is told that Shinobu is dead. So you needed that scene. So in hindsight, I should have seen that coming, but I think that's a minor thing that I got wrong there. Now, movie 2, I did make some predictions on it. Now, what I predicted would happen in movie 2, because everything else with movie 1 I got right. Akaza and the Zenitsu fight, predicted all that would end in movie 1. So all that, we're done. I got that right. Now, movie 2, what I predicted was we would get the Doma fight in its entirety and the Upper Moon 1 fight in its entirety. And that's pretty much all we're going to get in movie 2. And I still stand by that slightly. Now, I do think we're going to see the start of the Upper Moon 4, which is the woman that basically is creating the Infinity Castle. I think we're going to see some of that fight. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But here's my one thing that I really do hope we see more of with movie 2. Now, with movie 2, there is going to be a lot of stuff to cover with these two fights. I would say the fight with Doma, the Upper Moon 2, is going to be the shorter fight, obviously. It will be. But I think it would make better sense if we kind of cut a few scenes in. Maybe we see the rest of the Hashira meeting the Upper Moon 1. Maybe we get some of those first few scenes with Muichiro meeting the Upper Moon 1. We get a few of those kind of thrown in, and then we go back to Upper Moon 2 to finish off that fight. Now, I do think you need to finish the movie. The third act of that film has to only be Upper Moon 1. And I think that makes the most sense, because that is your climactic event. This is what people are going in to watch. They are excited to see this fight. And I completely agree. But I do think if you mix them up, I think it'll look a little bit better, and I think it'll work a little bit better. Because with movie 1, I think it would have made more sense if I'm being really critical. I enjoyed the film quite a bit, but if I'm being really critical, I think it would have been better if you had, like, the start of the Shinobu fight cut to Zenitsu. We see a little bit of the Zenitsu fight, then we cut back to Shinobu. We have Shinobu and Doma's ending fight, and then you cut back to maybe you have the Tanjiro and Giyu finding out that she's dead, and then meeting Akaza, and then you have the finale of the Zenitsu fight, and then you have like the last hour of the film is the Giyu and the Akaza fight. I wish it just would have been mixed up a little bit better. I think it would have made pacing a little bit better, even though I don't mind it. I think it would have been fine. I think with the second movie, you can do a little bit of that and make pacing a little bit better. Now, the ending of the second film is where I think there is a few options. I think there's two big options as to where we can end the second film. Option one is you do it when the Infinity Castle is destroyed and we are in the Sunrise arc. Here's why I don't think that is the best way to do it. I think it makes the most sense if you end the second movie with Muzan, like, he's up. Like, right now, Muzan is still recovering where he's at right now. And I think if we end the movie with Muzan in his new form, maybe right as he is seeing Tanjiro, that is where you end it. You just end it there. And then that's a exciting cliffhanger to leave fans for that final film. If you go all the way to the Infinity Castle being destroyed, while it would work, what concerns me then is basically like you could go back and like redo the last like little bit of the second movie and the third movie, but if you leave that Infinity Castle being destroyed as your first scene of that third movie, it's an exciting scene to hook people into watching. If you wait, basically all it's going to be is just you're like, all right, in the seat, we're fighting Muzan, which I know either way that's what we're going to get, but I think if we have like a little bit of that Upper Moon 4 fight still going on, it makes it just a little bit, you're getting a little bit of an appetizer before your main course with that film. Because I think that third film is going to be packed with a lot of stuff, but I think if we have that little bit at the front, I think it'll work a little bit better. Now, there is one final thing that I do want to talk about here, and this is kind of just a shot in the dark here, because I have no idea what they're going to do with this one. So, a bit of a change that was made from this movie from Japan to the US, and that was actually, it had a different name in Japan. It was called the Infinity Castle Part 1, Akaza's Return. Now here, it was just called Demon Slayer Infinity Castle. So, what is going to be the name of Part 2? We don't know. I would assume that in America, it'll just be called Demon Slayer Infinity Castle Part 2, which is boring. I like Akaza's Return. I think that's fun. So, I'm going to try to predict what it might be. You know, could it be like Upper Moon Showdown? You know, Hashira versus Upper Moon? Revenge, because I feel like there's some revenge stuff that happens there. Or avenge. There's some possibilities. What do you think? What would you name Infinity Castle Part 2? Now, 3 is definitely going to be called Sunrise Countdown. It's definitely going to be called that. But what do you think the second one should be called? I think there's some possibilities here. Let me know. Otherwise, I feel like that first video pretty much explained kind of what I'm going with here. I think the second film will end with either the Infinity Castle being destroyed or Muzan fully regenerated, fully ready to fight, and then we get the Upper Moon 4, that fight at the beginning of the third film, and then we go through the rest of the story. So what do you think? Do you still think that some of you think that we're going to get Upper Moon 2 in the second film and then Upper Moon 1 in the third film and then we're going to get another thing for Sunrise Countdown? If you still think that, why? Like, why? But anyway, that is all for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. This is a bit of a different video, but my first video did really well. So, yes, that was a year ago. I don't know if anybody cares anymore, but let me know. So, yeah. I'll talk to you guys again soon. More content on the channel, Demon Slayer, other stuff. Hatsune Miku's back there, My Hero Academia, Attack on Titan, Rent a Girlfriend, Love Live, bunch of different stuff. Let me, Uma Musume. Bunch of fun stuff. Subscribe, you'll see it all. Supposed to some unboxings and everything else. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.